5 Hidden Rules of Buying a Rolex at Retail. Walk into an official Rolex retailer with enough money to buy the watch you want, and the transaction may still not happen. Not because your card was declined. Not because the watch is too expensive. But because at Rolex Retail, being able to afford a watch is not always the same as being able to buy that specific watch. The Rolex website allows you to explore models, compare materials, and configure the watch you want. But it does not sell new watches directly. New and genuine Rolex watches are sold through official Rolex retailers. And when demand exceeds availability, those retailers independently manage the allocation and sale of the watches they receive. That creates an unusual luxury transaction. The brand manufactures the product. The retailer controls the moment of access. And the customer may never see the complete system connecting the two. So this is not a video about rumors, secret handshakes, or guaranteed tricks. It is about 5 rules that can be supported by Rolex's own published information, and what those rules reveal about one of the most closely watched retail systems in luxury. These are 5 hidden rules of buying a Rolex at retail. And the first rule begins before you even enter the boutique. Rule 5. The website is a showroom, not a store. Most modern luxury shopping begins online. You choose the product, select the configuration, enter your payment details, and complete the transaction. Rolex works differently. Its website presents the collection and helps customers discover the available models, but Rolex states that it does not sell its watches directly through the website. New and genuine Rolex watches are sold exclusively through official Rolex retailers. That distinction changes the customer journey. Seeing a watch online does not mean that the same watch is waiting in a nearby boutique. Configuring a model does not reserve it. Finding its recommended retail price does not create a right to purchase it. The website shows you the product. The retailer tells you what may actually be available. For most products, the online catalog and the available inventory feel like parts of the same system. With Rolex, they are deliberately separate stages. One creates desire. The other controls the transaction. Rule 4. Not every Rolex is equally difficult to buy. The phrase Rolex waiting list can make the entire collection sound impossible to access. That is misleading. Rolex does not say that every watch is unavailable. It says that the availability of certain models may be limited. The difference matters. Availability can change according to the model, configuration, region, retailer, and moment in time. A customer asking for one watch may have a completely different experience from a customer asking for another. Rolex explains that its production standards naturally limit capacity and that, at times, demand exceeds that capacity. But limited production does not mean every display case is permanently empty. And it does not mean every model follows the same path. The mistake is to treat buying a Rolex as one universal transaction. It is not. There are many collections, materials, sizes, and dial combinations. The difficulty is often attached not only to the name Rolex, but to the exact reference the customer has chosen. In other words, the question is not simply, can I buy a Rolex? It is, can I buy this Rolex from this retailer at this moment? Rule 3. The retailer manages the allocation. This is the most important sentence in Rolex's public explanation of availability. Official Rolex retailers independently manage the allocation and sales of watches to customers. That means there is not a public global checkout system distributing every available watch in chronological order. The retailer receives deliveries and manages the sale locally. Rolex does not publish a universal customer ranking formula. It does not publicly promise that every expression of interest becomes a numbered place in one worldwide queue. And it does not provide customers with a central website showing their position or estimated delivery date. This does not mean every retailer follows an identical hidden strategy. It means the opposite. The published system gives official Rolex retailers responsibility for managing their own allocations and customer sales. So an experience in London may not perfectly predict an experience in New York, Dubai, or Hong Kong. Even 2 retailers in the same country may communicate availability differently. The uncertainty is not necessarily a secret conspiracy. It is a consequence of a decentralized retail system operating under limited availability. You are interested in a watch made by Rolex. but the practical conversation happens with the retailer in front of you. Rule 2. There is no published universal spending formula. Online advice about buying a Rolex often becomes extremely specific. Buy another watch first. Purchase jewelry. Visit the boutique every month. Build a large spending history. Never mention resale. Some of these recommendations may reflect individual customer experiences or the practices of particular retailers, but they should not be presented as universal Rolex rules. Rolex's public purchasing information does not state that every customer must first buy an unwanted product. It does not publish a minimum previous spending requirement, and it does not guarantee that following a particular social script will produce a particular watch. The official position is simpler. Availability may be limited, and official Rolex retailers independently manage allocation and sales. That leaves room for retailer discretion. But discretion is not the same as a universal published formula. This distinction protects the accuracy of the discussion. A customer relationship may affect how a particular retailer communicates with a particular client. But no responsible documentary should claim that one unofficial strategy guarantees access everywhere. There is no magic sentence. There is no publicly confirmed spending equation. And there is no reliable method that turns uncertainty into entitlement. The retailer may understand your interest. That does not mean the retailer can promise the watch. Rule 1. New and immediately available are different markets. For many customers, the real decision is not simply which Rolex to buy. It is which purchasing system to enter. The first route is a new watch from an official Rolex retailer. That route offers the new watch experience, but a specific model may not be immediately available. The second route is the wider pre-owned market, where availability can be faster but authenticity, condition, provenance, and seller reliability must be considered carefully. Rolex has also created an official bridge between these two worlds, the Rolex Certified Pre-Owned program. Under that program, participating official Rolex retailers sell second-hand Rolex watches that are at least 2 years old. The watches are authenticated by Rolex and receive a new 2-year international guarantee. Rolex describes these certified watches as immediately available. But this is not a shortcut to a new watch at retail. It is a different product category. The watch has had a previous life. Its price is determined within the pre-owned retail market, and the choice depends on the stock available through participating retailers. The important point is that access changes when the customer changes markets. A specific new watch may be difficult to obtain through new watch allocation. A pre-owned version may be available immediately. The object may look similar. The transaction is not. So, the hidden system behind Rolex retail is often exaggerated into a world of myths. But the documented reality is already interesting enough. Rolex does not sell new watches directly online. Certain models may have limited availability. Official Rolex retailers independently manage allocation and sales. There is no publicly stated universal spending formula that guarantees access. And customers who want immediate availability may need to consider a different market, including the official certified pre-owned system. None of this means that buying a Rolex is impossible, and it does not mean that every retailer or every model produces the same experience. It means that the customer is not interacting with a simple global inventory. The watch is visible. The retail structure behind it is not. A conventional store asks, "Which product would you like to purchase?" A constrained luxury system may first ask, "Is that product available to be offered here, now, through this retailer?" And that is the difference between wanting the watch and completing the transaction. Because in the highest levels of luxury, price may begin the conversation, but access decides how it ends.